Welcome back to the channel, guys. I had to take a day or two off there, so I apologize for not putting an update out, but I was a little tied up, so I appreciate your patience. So today, we're going to jump right into Nervos. Uh, CKB lost the 1.75, the 1 cent 0.75 price rally following Bitcoin's retracement. However, hodlers continue to maintain the price range above the 0.13 at a steady maintenance level of 0.16. As I'm sure you guys have noticed, we've been traveling sideways for quite a bit of time now. So as we range sideways, the markets will continue to recover. The fear and greed index right now is steady at a 36. So we're still in fear as investors warily re-enter the market. Nervos will move once Bitcoin resumes its uptrend or more announcements come out of the hackathon. So a recent announcement update regarding the Morpheus Labs and Nervos partnership revealed that Nervos Network solutions will be listed in Morpheus Labs app library version 2.0. So Morpheus Labs Seed, the low-code development platform, includes the app library where customizable industrial solutions are listed and showcased to the public. So the app library is a crowdsourced innovation marketplace that caters to the needs of businesses and individuals alike who can source for ideas and applications across the blockchain space. So platform users get access to promote any dApp in the app library and create deployments using their use case templates. So the Morpheus Labs and Nervos, they announced their partnership last November when Morpheus introduced and onboarded Nervos into their Morpheus Labs ecosystem and a pretty vibrant community. Where both companies, I guess, will continue to work together to promote Nervos Network as a solution in Morpheus Labs enterprise toolbox for use cases across healthcare and e-commerce, international trading, banking, and a whole host of other industries. So they're focusing on industrial implementations with blockchain technology for enterprises. So Nervos have listed 4 industrial solutions in the Morpheus Labs app library version 2. So Muta. So Muta is a highly customizable, high-performance blockchain framework. It has a built-in BFT-like consensus algorithm with a high throughput and low latency. And it can also support different virtual machines, including the CKB virtual machine, the EVM, and WASM. So Muta has interoperability across all VMs. Different virtual machines can be used in a Muta-based blockchain at the same time. So developed by the Nervos team, Muta is basically designed to allow anyone in the world to build their own blockchain while enjoying the security and finality brought by the Nervos CKB. Hubai chain is the first adoption of the Muta protocol. And then they're also listing a Portal wallet. So Portal wallet, or P wallet, is a wallet built on the Nervos common knowledge base that runs in any Ethereum wallet's dApp browser by leveraging Nervos's unique low-level virtual machine and crypto primitives to help make blockchain projects more easily accessible. Portal wallet will also run in EOS wallet and other public wallets, as well as internet browsers like Chrome in the future. So Portal Wallet is a blockchain wallet and SDK on Nervos with amazing interoperability functions. dApps developed with PWSDK, or they're called PW dApps, that can directly run in wallets of Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, Tron, etc. No specific development is required of the wallet maintainers, I guess. So Rigid Bit was the third one. Rigid Bit is the easiest and inexpensive way for your product or business to become blockchain enabled. So it's a micro blockchain that runs on your server and synchronizes with public blockchains. This hybrid public-private approach provides an easy and inexpensive way to attach business files and data to a blockchain. The fourth one was Force Bridge, which is, as you guys know, is a cross-chain bridge that will initially connect Ethereum to Nervos with plans to integrate other chains in the future. So, and the Force Bridge is launching on Nervos in February 2021 with native support for ETH and all ERC20 tokens. Force Bridge, one of the three components of Nervos' next generation interoperability solution called the Universal Passport, will enable seamless asset transfers between the two chains, making it easier for Ethereum developers to expand their decentralized applications and user base to the Nervos ecosystem. So this article actually came out in 2021, but this was an update that came out today. The dApps are actually being listed today. So that article was a preemptive article that just gave us a little more detail. So it is not old news. This was just tweeted just a little while ago, but I just pulled up the old article just so we can take a look at some of the details there. All right. So moving right along. So Cardano, let's take a look at Cardano and see what the ADA is doing out there. So Cardano plunged below the breakout level at the 247 on September 13th. And the bears could not pull the price down to the 50-day SMA, which is at around 221 right now. This suggests basically that, selling is weakening at these lower levels. So the ADA USD formed a doji candlestick pattern on September 14th. And it's squeezed in there, right there, indicating indecision, between the bulls and the bears. And this uncertainty did resolve as we did move upward. We saw the price break to the upside on September 15th, and buyers are attempting to clear the hurdle at the 20-day EMA, which is at around 255 currently. So we still got a little ways to go here, but the Cardano Summit is fast approaching, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But if the price does break and close above the 20-day EMA, ADA USD could rise to the overhead resistance zone at the 297 to the 310. So that would be, pretty far up there. I would not put it out of the realm of possibility because I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But if the price does go back down to the 20-day EMA, the bears will again try to sink it down to the 50-day. While not likely, any break and close below the 50-day SMA support line would suggest a possible trend change. So just keep your eye on that. And so that's ADA price action going on. And let's just touch base on Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance at around 40%, 41% currently. On a little bit of a downtrend here. So that is a good sign for altcoins, but Bitcoin really needs to pull off these moving averages. So a sharp move down on Sunday saw liquidations on both sides of the trade. The high volatility now has the market in a state of fear. So 36 in the fear range with a wipeout candle called doji here as well, with an extremely long wick in either direction. Saw roughly about $1.23 billion of longs liquidated on the 13th. So 622 million of which came from Bybit alone. So in total, roughly $4.4 billion of perpetual future open interest was wiped out. So the drawdown from its 30-day high of 52,853, I believe is a much needed cool off to keep BTC's uptrend sustainable to back to all-time highs. So this is a healthy cleansing. The dip provides an opportunity for investors to buy well over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin at a discount, because that's what's been scooped up. So Bitcoin is leading the recovery in the crypto sector, and the cryptocurrency did briefly rally up to 48,429 today before pulling back. As you guys can see here, before pulling back to test the underlying support levels. In the bullish news, ARK Invest CEO Kathy Wood did say that Bitcoin is the default cryptocurrency and could rise tenfold in the next 5 years, but just isn't moving this week at all. Her presumptuous projection is based on a bet that Bitcoin will find a place in the balance sheets of many companies and institutional investors who will increase their allocation to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to around 5%. MicroStrategy has well surpassed the 5% and continues to buy Bitcoin in a frenzy. Several legacy finance companies have also realized the growing demand for digital assets and are increasing their crypto offerings to fulfill that demand. One such place, called Morgan Stanley, recently set up a new crypto-focused research division in recognition of the growing significance of cryptocurrencies and other digital assets in the global markets. So, additional positive news did come from Fidelity investment executives who apparently met several United States Securities and Exchange Commission officials, SEC officials, and stressed the importance of why a Bitcoin exchange traded fund should be approved. The executives pointed to the increasing rate of Bitcoin's adoption, the approvals of similar funds in other countries, and the growing demand for digital assets. So, with all of the bullishness in this space, why is the market scraping the bottom of the trading range and looking like a limp biscuit? Well, if the bulls sustain the price above the 20-day EMA, Bitcoin could rise to the overhead resistance zone, up around 50,500 to around 52,920. So that is the zone we are aiming for. We are not, that's nothing for Bitcoin, right? And if the, right now the RSI has turned back to positive territory, and the 20-day EMA has basically flattened out. So this signals a minor advantage to the buyers. So a breakout and close above the overhead zone will signal the resumption of the uptrend. So we will see. The bears are unlikely to throw in the towel very easily, though, and they will attempt to stall the up move at the overhead zone. So if the price turns down from here, from the resistance, the BTC USD pair could consolidate in a large range for a few more days. Boring. The bears will have to sink and sustain the price below 42,451 to gain the upper hand. So if you see us going down to the 42, I would say we're probably going to take a sustained trend change from there. So other than that, there's also some other stuff happening in the markets that is impacting the price. So I wanted to talk about this, kind of a little boring, but and I'm sure a lot of you guys know this already, but for those of you who don't, I figured I would introduce it because I do think it's important for investors to know this stuff. We hear about it all the time. We read it in articles talking about inflation and interest rates. And looking back, Bitcoin's mid-May slide from 58,000 to 30,000 happened after official data release on May 12th showed that the U.S. CPI at a 3-year high and triggered taper fears. So obviously Elon Musk's concerns about the impact of mining on the environment and China's, big bad crackdown on cryptocurrencies both had an additional impact to this news, but inflation remains a critical factor for crypto price action. So If inflation remains above 5% from here, the hawks will likely start worrying. And this, as many of you guys know, could translate into further consolidation. Consolidation here could mean sideways action or further dip in the short term. So, Bitcoin and other traditional market risk assets have soared in the past 18 months thanks to the liquidity deluge brought on by the Fed stimulus program. So the Fed has been, supporting, the coronavirus stuff, with uh, extended welfare and um, unemployment benefits and all kinds of stuff, right? But all of that is soon coming to an end. So this is one of the reasons why I think the fear and greed index is still in the fear. So with a liquidity squeeze due to a Fed taper and U.S. Treasury actions could weigh on asset prices in general, and especially if Bitcoin especially on Bitcoin, because capital in crypto markets tends to overreact with emotion, right? So top investment banks foresee market risk aversion strengthening in the weeks ahead. According to the Australian Financial Review, Morgan Stanley expects U.S. stocks to decline by as much as 15% by the end of the year, while Bank of America foresees a 6% drop in the stock market. So a stock market decline could add to bearish pressures on Bitcoin. So the world sees Bitcoin as a risk on asset, with almost every Bitcoin correction in 2021 correlating with an S&P 500 correction of about 2% or more. So the S&P 500 fell by 1.69% last week, alongside Bitcoin's 11% decline. So something to think about, right? I don't think it's always about FUD and scared investors, because of price action. I think that some of this stuff is around the Fed, potential Fed taper. So if the Fed tapers, we will, at least the stock market will go down, and usually the crypto market experiences some type of downturn from that, and we're experiencing that right now. I have seen it pull out, though. I mean, we've seen instances where the stock market is sort of in a lull, but the crypto markets, you see what happened with Solana. So I would not put it in the bank, but definitely something to be mindful of as a crypto investor. Nervos, again, I forgot to talk about this a second ago. Nervos has just been listed on the Amber app. Let me see if I can pull up it was on Twitter. Let me see if this was oh yeah. So Nervos has just been listed on the Amber app. The announcement was made yesterday on Twitter, and the Amber app passed, let's see, $1 billion in assets under management, or AUM, back in April of 2021. And this app is available in over 140 countries worldwide and hosts about 100,000 users since its launch back in Q3 of 2020. This announcement comes just days after a partnership with MEXC Global, who who basically joined to support the hackathon. MEXC is a Singapore-based trading platform that hosts 6 million users across 70 countries. So between the two recent partnerships, Nervos exposure has increased substantially, and this may show itself in price movements in the coming weeks. So something to keep in mind. Let's see, what did I want to talk about next? Oh, I wanted to talk a little bit about this article from Cardano. So, as many of you guys know, the Alonzo hard fork introduced the core building blocks of Plutus 1.0. for the Cardano network. This is beginning. This is the beginning of their ecosystem growth, as many of you guys know. And even though they just launched smart contract functionality, the Alonzo testnet did allow developers to assess system properties and build scalable dApps in advance, preparing for their mainnet launch. So a lot of the dApps that were built during the Alonzo testnet phase, were built, ready for smart contract functionality. So with the Cardano Summit coming up next week, it just seems logical that we're going to hear about many projects being released. So, I just think it's going to be a really, we're going to see a lot of development going on. So with dozens of projects already working with local instances of Plutus environments, I do expect a significant ramping up of activity over the next few weeks and in the months ahead. Later this month, the Cardano Summit, which is on September 25th and 26th, will showcase many of these projects, plus provide important updates on the smart contracts roadmap and the ongoing evolution of the technology stack. Developer events, hackathons, and of course, the results of the Project Catalyst will continue to bring new tools and abstractions to Cardano's fast-growing developer ecosystem. But just because we have not heard any announcements yet since the launch of smart contracts does not mean that they are not close to launching significant projects in the next few weeks. But anyway, as we have discussed on this channel, Cardano is a UTXO-based blockchain, which uses a different programming paradigm for decentralized applications, or dApps, from other account-based blockchains like Ethereum. We have also discussed UTXO models with respect to Nervos in my previous videos, and today I'm going to cover some of Cardano's research in this field, because Cardano uses the extended unspent transaction output, or the EUTXO model, which was introduced by the Alonzo upgrade, of course. And according to IOHK, EUTXO offers greater security, which allows for smart contract execution, cost predictability, and offers a different approach to parallelization. It is important, though, to recognize, what this technology offers in the future of blockchain. This is definitely bigger than market cap or number of projects building on the network. Cardano and Nervos are ushering in a new process for scaling blockchain into the future. So, while the EUTXO inherits the per branches design, similar, that was taken from the Bitcoin UTXO model, dApps built on Cardano are not limited to one transaction per block. It allows the execution of hundreds of simple transactions in several complex scripts. And I think personally, part of the confusion is that the EUTXO model allows spending a transaction output only once, because users can face contention issues trying to access the same UTXO. Developers use many different UTXOs in parallel to achieve, secure scalability. So it's not a straightforward, UTXO in the Bitcoin model is single transactions, where EUTXO is something very different, and many EUTXOs are used in parallel. So this article basically points out that blockchains achieve immutability and transparency of transaction processing differently. So any blockchain system, should have a set of properties to meet the ever-growing need for secure yet swift operation processing. And this basically is the holy trinity of cryptography. and that is throughput, performance, and scalability. As you guys know, some chains are super fast but are not able to perform complex computations, while others are highly secure but have low throughput or speed. The idea is to achieve this holy trinity where the chain is able to achieve high speed or throughput, is immutable and secure, and is able to be scaled to meet the demands of a large user base, which ultimately becomes the biggest challenge. Up until now, no chain has been able to achieve all three within the parameters needed to operate on a global scale. That is, until recently. Two chains are inextricably linked and will change this notion as we evolve the blockchain ecosystem into the future. Nervos and Cardano have both partnered to research this technology and improve the global application of blockchain technology. So, some other things this article talks about is parallelism. And EUTXO models can ultimately improve the throughput or speed of the system while keeping the performance of individual operations the same. So when it comes to scalability, it's important to distinguish, such system properties as concurrency, parallelism, and contention. So let me give you some definitions here. So concurrency is essential to allow multiple actors to progress on a certain task without interfering with each other. And parallelism allows such progress at the same time without interference. Contention occurs when those multiple actors interfere with each other while working either concurrently or in parallel. So the three terms are often, they're used, sort of talking about the same, in the same sort of the same processes, right? So when it comes to scalability, this article points out that concurrency may or may not improve a system's performance, throughput, or responsiveness. The amount of concurrency limits, so basically the amount of concurrency that happens limits the maximum number of simultaneous operations that can be performed. So what Cardano is trying to do, basically to obtain actual performance improvements in a UTXO-based blockchain, processors or other actors should be able to perform multiple actions simultaneously. And so the higher the level of concurrency, the higher the maximum possible parallelism. Makes sense, right? Such an approach then translates to performance improvements in throughput. It basically also provides significant advantages over account-based systems like Ethereum. So deploying dApps on UTXO ledgers, though, is quite different. So, it's important to note that Cardano's approach to dApp development and deployment is different. It requires developers to work through a learning curve and take a different approach to building dApps. And so this article does talk about that here, talking about scalability and how to organize dApps on Cardano. And it's important to understand that to deploy a scalable dApp on Cardano, a developer, can't just use an adapted Ethereum smart contract. Cardano is based on the UTXO model and Ethereum is based on the account model. So it is not an account-based model like many developers are used to. So this is why the Alonzo testnet phases were so important. They trained and educated over 2,000 developers from around the world. So firms sent their best engineers, learned how to deploy dApps and launch the first projects on the new chain, so, and let me tell you, like with a vibrant community supporting Cardano, the potential for success is high. So thousands of Cardano community members lie in wait to participate in every project that will soon be launched. So as the Cardano Summit prepares to reveal the first projects to be deployed on Cardano, the entire ecosystem is poised to overtake the market. So I will just say, stay tuned for more updates because, we are going to continue to follow the evolution of the Cardano ecosystem and do our best to get in early on some of these projects that will and we will take advantage of, especially the projects that are going to be, utilizing the cross chain bridge with Nervos. I'm gonna, definitely be talking about that. I am attending the Cardano Summit. I've volunteered. I've been talking to the Cardano team and volunteered for the summit. So I'm going to try to get some inside scoop on what's going on. Obviously, not releasing anything until it's officially announced, of course. But but stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. I will keep you guys updated on what's going on in the summit. And that's pretty much it in the space. We're just looking limp, just looking real limp right now. So hopefully, looks like Link has started to move up a little bit. But that's pretty much it. I mean, nothing else is really moving. Avalanche, looking good. Filecoin up at $90. So taking a little launch up there. So Filecoin moving right now. That's about it, guys. And again, I had some personal stuff to deal with. So I apologize for not making a video yesterday. But I will be making a video tomorrow. So stay tuned and be well and be safe, guys.